What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And now we are doing a video talking about the second semi-final for Eurovision 2025. I've already recorded the first semi-final video. You can check that out right now. I had a lot of fun with that, and it was interesting because I was trying some new filming techniques for the first time. But this one, I think I'm gonna really start to get into the groove with my new setup, you know? I got my light all prepared, my camera all prepared, my phone is all prepared, so I think this is gonna be a unique experience. This is always my favorite semi-final because it's always unpredictable who's gonna advance to the grand final and who will be denied. Ever since I started making these videos routinely in 2023, that's always been the vibe I've been getting from this semi-final. So I'm gonna have fun talking about all the entries included here. And this is especially the case because some of these songs I think have a real shot at winning the whole thing. So strap in, people. I think I've wasted your time enough. I don't want to keep on rambling, so let us cut the chit chat and get into the second semi-final of Eurovision 2025. I hope you guys are thirsty, both literally and figuratively, because we are opening this semi-final with a song called Milkshake Man. This comes from Gojo, the artist competing for Australia. Born as Marty Zamboto and Manjamup, Gojo would start learning music as early as 13 years old. He also developed a huge interest in football, but eventually gave it up to focus on the arts. When I took a gander at some of his older songs, I was surprised to find that they're a lot moodier than his latest single. A decent portion of his music is about going through relationship problems and feeling bummed out about them. If anything, his previous output makes his entry Milkshake Man all the more stunning. We jump right into the ridiculousness with the ice cream jingle and the slurping sound effects, and that's when Gojo offers his drinks to the world. You can imagine him speaking closely into the mic when he delivers the chorus. The production also adds plenty of intensity with its drums and synths, capturing the artist's excitement. Milkshake Man is fascinating because it can be interpreted as a straight-up sex anthem, especially when he's speaking about his creme brulee. But it can also be about the importance of self-expression, which is exactly what Gojo must have discovered himself when he recorded this. I remember feeling disappointed that Electric Fields couldn't make the grand final in Malmo, so it might help for Australia to take the sillier route and submit a song with so much camp, it could probably roast marshmallows. Make that a flavor for your beverage. Going next is a singer who had to go through a super chaotic selection process to get here. For the returning country Montenegro, we have Nina Žižić going to Basel with Dobrosošli, and she happens to be our second returning artist this year. The Nick Chic-based artist was sent at Eurovision in 2013 as a featured artist for Husi. Their entry was titled Igranka, an extreme party jam with rapping and dubstep. Unfortunately, it didn't reach the finals, but Nina has remained an essential part of the contest, even serving on Montenegro's internal jury at one point. Separated from the MCs and astronaut suits, Nina Žižić can sound very graceful, like on her synth-pop song Paranoisen and the blissful Common Dreams, which she sang with her Monte song competitor Dulce Hera. Speaking of which, it's pretty wild how she ended up as the singer for Montenegro. Fans were in anguish when Neon the One's clickbait initially won over Dobrosošli, but then they rejoiced when the band pulled out of the contest after the discovery that their song was performed months before the start of September. Nina became the new representative due to her second place finish, and it's not hard to see why she got a terrific score. She belts her notes with such an elegant intensity, conveying the heartbreak of a woman who's facing a ton of tragedy in her life, but encourages herself to persevere, no matter how difficult it will be. It is a shame to see a song as creative as Clickbait get axed from the contest, but I still think Montenegro has a good shot at advancing with Dobrosošli. Nina said she wanted to show audiences a new version of herself we haven't seen previously, and there's no doubt she is accomplishing that. It's time for a contestant who just seems like a big sweetie pie. Her name is Emmy, and she'll be singing Like a Party for Ireland. Born with the full name Emmy Christine Guttelstrud Christensen, the singer actually comes from Norway, the town of Holmstrand to be exact. She built her talent for music by singing in choir as a child. Emmy has been immersed in the Norwegian music industry, competing in Melodi Grand Prix in 2021, and serving as a jury member in 2023. The artist has also built a massive following on TikTok, garnering over 1.2 million followers. Like, good lord. When it comes to her music, she's able to project her emotions through her singing, creating real earnesty. Frightened by Lightning reminds me a lot of Billie Eilish. Maybe because of the haunting production or the fact that her brother works closely with her. There was a ton of hoopla over Emmy's participation in Ireland's Eurosong, since she originated from Norway but had a songwriter with Irish citizenship work with her on Laika Party. Honestly, people shouldn't make a huge fuss about it since Marcus and Martinez worked with a team of Swedish songwriters to make Unforgettable. In addition, I've seen people argue that Laika Party is too childlike and innocent, but that's kind of the point. It focuses on the Russian canine traveling to space, saying goodbye to Earth and completing a mission all by herself. There's an underlying emotion of grief in Emmy's performance, but she tries to maintain an optimistic feel so that she doesn't have to deal with the thought of a dog suffering a slow death. The electric sound is her trying to keep happy thoughts. There's some wit to the song, and while its qualification chances are shaky, I am rooting for it. With all the dreariness, viewers will want something uplifting, and Latvia's competitor can certainly provide that. The country has chosen the all-women group Tautumeitas and their song Bur Man Laimi. The band formed in 2015 and featured founding members Asnate and Aurelia Reinsane, as well as Laura Marta Liesites. Their newest members include Gabriela Zvigsnites, Kate Sleeshane, and Anne-Maria Moisera. I'm showing the Latvian language some love today. At first, they would produce music that was specifically designed for weddings. That makes sense considering how angelic their tone is. Their self-titled debut album came out in 2018, with their follow-up LP having a 2020 release. One of my favorite aspects of Tautumeitas is how impactful their percussion is. That's one special way they infuse folk music into their sound. Other welcoming elements include their sweeping violins and plucky bass. They really knew their craft going into Supernova. I already suspected they'd be heavy players, but I never anticipated how well they would nail the performance. The harmonizing is brilliant, creating build-up in the first 30 seconds and then splashing us with a ray of sunshine. It also fits glorious with the woodland flutes, smooth bass line, and vibrant percussion. It's even better when you analyze the lyrics. The ladies sing about being able to bring joy and solitude to the world, like growing an oak tree, while others constantly look for gloom and stark conflict, such as building a steel bridge. Because they have a close experience with misery, they aim to lift other people's spirits. Bur Man Laimi feels like a direct contrast with Hollow by Adonxs, which possessed a much darker tone. This entry is oozing with light, enriching your spirit as you become more confident by the second. I strongly believe a song this edifying will keep Latvia in the finals. We're keeping the self-assured anthems going with our next artist, Parg. He's performing Survivor as the representative for Armenia. Born as Pargev Vardanyan, he moved to Volgograd as a child and earned a degree in theater arts and acting at their top arts institute. Parg also started a band called The Edge Chronicles, which ran mostly throughout the late 2010s. To comment on his material, his vocals can be very comforting to the ears, but his music can also take on a warlike feel, such as Arya. The man knew how to write fighting anthems even before he entered the Basel show. He even has a collaboration with past representative Brunettes. It's a weird fusion between rock and R&B, which somehow works. Parg was already building a good reputation for himself going into Debbie Evertessa, which was something I didn't realize when tuning in for the show myself. But how much luck does Parg hold with Survivor? To be honest, I don't think his live performance was the best, with a bunch of pitchy vocals. What also doesn't help is how basic the lyrics can be, with him just singing lines about how he doesn't give in to the news and no matter how many times he gets knocked down, he'll stand back up again. Frankly, his delivery for some of these lines can be pretty goofy. Sorry. To talk about the redeeming elements, the hard rock sound knows how to hit you like a boulder, and I really dig the staging, especially during the bridge when he cues the visuals resembling bloodstreams. It's one of those entries that could largely come down to the execution, and I wouldn't be upset if Parg advances. I just see this as a tiny step down from last year's Jacko. Just tiny. Somebody needs to sound the winner potential alarm, because Austria could be holding that trophy next month. Their entrant is JJ, and he brought the song Wasted Love. The son of an Austrian and Filipino, JJ was born as Johannes Peach in Vienna. He spent a significant portion of his life in Dubai before his family moved back to the Central European nation. JJ gained a level of fame after auditioning for The Voice UK with The Sound of Music. Honestly, will.i.am is the last musical figure I would expect to go nuts for an opera singer. Speaking of which, he would study at the Music and Arts University of the city of Vienna to strengthen his skills even further. It really seems like his time at college has paid off, because that boy can probably use his own voice to shatter his own glasses. When I went to look up his streaming pages, I found that he doesn't have any other songs. Much like Saba from Denmark, JJ only has his Eurovision entry available to play. Well, I think the people will be demanding more once the season ends, because Wasted Love shows off some legitimate talent. The song is JJ singing about drifting away from a lover that he really hoped to build a lasting relationship with. You can hear the sadness whimper from his mouth on the verses, and then uses his operatic vocals to let the somberness loose, elevating the song to something of a theatrical drama. But he takes it even a step further when the song transitions into techno for the final 30 seconds, hammering in the travesty his world is experiencing. Personally, I still don't find Wasted Love that impressive, but given the hype surrounding it, I wouldn't count out a victory. It's safe to say that our next competitor is one of the strongest vocalists we've had in semifinal 2. Her name is Klavdia, and she'll be rocking the Greek colors with her song Asteromata. She was born in the city of Asperpurgos, and is fully named Klavdia Papadopoulou. Starting as a teenager, she would compete on multiple talent shows, including Greece's Got Talent and the country's version of The Voice. Watching those clips on YouTube, it's unbelievable how some people are so naturally gifted at singing at such a young age. I barely made it into choir as a baritone. After a run on those programs, Klavdia signed a record deal with Arcade Music and began releasing hit songs through them. Going through her singles, you can tell why they clicked with listeners. Who can resist those calming, powerful vocals paired with the clean Balkan sound? It's that sort of skill that would make her total Eurovision material. She didn't have any luck when she got rejected for Victor Vernikos in 2023, but a few years later, Ethnikos Telikos rolled around the corner, and she was able to win over the country with Asteromata. The song itself is incredibly meaningful. Klavdia is pleading to her mother to not be sad about having to leave their homeland, for they can always find a way back and stay connected. My biggest gripe with this entry has to do with the staging. For the whole runtime, it feels like there's nothing happening visually. A song this vivid has so much creative potential, and should go beyond just a few dancers lying on the floor. I'm still confident it can qualify, I just think this has the chance to accomplish way more. This next band is truly unique to the Eurovision scene, and they come to us from Lithuania. They are called Katarsis, and they will be playing the song Tavo Akys at Basel. First coming together in 2020, the group features Lukas Radzevichis, Alanas Brasas, Emilia Kandra Tavisite, and Jokubis Andrilis. This Vilnius-based act doesn't have much of a story. You get the vibe that they're just a bunch of kids who wanted to start a band and compete in a global music show. Their previous releases definitely prepared them, including the hauntingly funky Vazares Glavoi Minoris. Katarsis didn't change up their style one bit for Eurovisia.lt, which arguably helped them prevail in the show. Lithuania's national selection was filled with a healthy amount of serious songs, but there was something about Tavo Akys that felt raw. It immediately sets a scene with its lyrics, mentioning the eyes in the greatest storm, as if we're in the center of a tornado. After doing research, Lukas appears to be singing about how one's suffering can't really be observed by the human eyes. It's something that you can only know if you harbor it yourself. This is illustrated even better with the alternative punk sound, opening with booming drums and lurking guitar melodies, then slamming into total chaos as the singer yells his misery. The climactic moment comes when Lukas repeatedly sings Tavo, emphasizing how witnessing dread is different from feeling dread. When you take into account the other songs from Katarsis when listening to Tavo Akys, they are excellent at capturing a feeling of existentialism in their music. That's the sort of authenticity that will surely give them an appearance in the finals. It's time for us to take a much needed break from all this sadness and move on to Malta's entry, that being Serving by Miriana Conte. Boy, is this song gonna be fun to talk about. The singer was born in Valletta in the year 2000. She's mostly known for competing in the Malta Eurovision Song Contest many times, starting in 2017. That doesn't surprise me since Malta is such a small nation that the contest is the best way to sell their music. It's fun to see her journey with this selection show because she's always been about displaying confidence in the face of ridicule, especially with a piercing voice. With every step of the way, she carved out an identity she feels very comfortable with. I actually know Miriana Conte best for her entry last year titled Venom. Honestly, Sony had a huge missed opportunity for not including this in The Last Dance. Fortunately, Miriana finally struck gold with her 2025 entry. Right away, the song made headlines due to its original name, Cunts, for Miriana was ordered by the EBU to do away with it. This sparked a ton of accusations from fans that the organization was censoring the Maltese performer, dictating which words they personally don't want to hear. While I agree hearing Cunts in the arena would have been awesome and hilarious, she did a good job working with the changes. The new version still showcases her self-assured demeanor, and she does it with the noisy pop sound containing a delicious amount of campiness. This song stands out so much, Miriana will be using her exercise ball to bounce her way into the grand final. After her bestie Sarah Benici got denied, this will be serving sweet revenge. Our next artist was the very last contestant to be announced for the lineup, named Mariam Shengelia. She'll be bringing the song Freedom to the big show as the artist for Georgia. Born in 2002, Mariam and her family moved all over the country from Mingrelia to Tbilisi to Zug Didi. She spent most of her life practicing music and even went to Tbilisi State Conservatoire to study music theory. Mariam's career really kicked into high gear when she competed on Georgia's version of The X Factor and proceeded to compete on several other reality competitions, including the country's own Dancing with the Stars. I'm sure Ezra Sosa would be thrilled to have her as a partner. Speaking of which, there's been a ton of heavy criticism that Mariam Shengelia has been supporting Georgia Dream, a political party that holds extreme pro-Russia views, and citizens have even expressed a ton of outrage over her being chosen. Because of this, I've been a bit shaky about her myself, but I wanted to give Freedom a fair shot since the song isn't directly related to politics, at least not overtly. So what did we get with this entry? Well, I do enjoy that opener, which sounds like the orchestra warming up their instruments, and Mariam does have strong vocals. The songwriting can be decent with lyrics about feeling free to live and prosper, but it's hard to admire that material when you're shilling for a country that's suppressing other people's freedoms. As many have pointed out correctly, these lyrics are very hypocritical for her. Overall, this entry just doesn't hit, especially since Nina Žižić already fulfills the role of elegant ballad lady. We are looking at a huge step down from Firefighter. Now we turn to a country that I'm hoping can break a massive drought this year, Denmark. They're placing their trust in Sissal and her energized song, Hallucination. Born with the full name Sissal Johanna Nordberg Nicolasen, she originates from the city of Tórshavn, located in the Faroe Islands. She had a start with fame at a young age when she appeared in singing competitions as young as 10. Over the next several years, she would release singles and eventually her own EP titled Hear Me Now. Going through her other songs, I see a performer who's really eased into the pop landscape. Her lyricism is neat and tight, she works with some brilliant producers, and the vocals she delivers really create a punch for the listener. There's no denying that Sissal was fully prepared to enter Adonxs Melodi Grand Prix. Listening to all the previews, I could tell she would be a serious contender with Hallucination, and she did not let me down. The song creates anticipation in the opening with the synths, and instantly you hear Sissal's vocal power. Then we raise the build-up with the beat coming in, and once the chorus hits a second time, the production splashes the listener with excitement as Sissal raves about falling for a lover, to the point where she feels like she's entering a new world. Something of a hallucination. To give us a glorious climax is when she belts on the final chorus as the booming drums cap off the journey we've just experienced. It warms my heart to see people show genuine enthusiasm for Denmark in this year's contest, thanks to all the connections Sissal has been making for the past few weeks. With that, I have no doubt she can break the drought. Our 12th entrant is another singer I wish to see pull off a massive score, and that will be Czechia's Adonxs, who has the song Kiss Kiss Goodbye. Born as Adam Pavlovshin in the country Slovakia, Adonxs quickly gained an interest in singing after his older sister pursued it. He would actually put singing on hold for a few years after his vocal range dropped due to puberty, but eventually practiced it again thanks to classical training from the famous Hanna Pekova. During that off time, Adonxs would focus on dancing, improving his craft to the point where he would win multiple championships, and he even took up modeling. It's truly inspiring to see him fall back in love with an old passion of his, especially since it led to some wonderful pop tunes. I'm also touched by his story of coming out as gay during his college years, which is crucial to recognize considering the activism he's done for LGBT rights. But enough about his fearless advocacy. What does this song for Eurovision sound like? Well, folks, I can say that we might have another possible champion in our midst. Kiss Kiss Goodbye is a song where Adonxs breaks it off with a lover, and the presentation for this song is astonishing. The western guitar to open the track, the epic violins and angelic choir that follows, the drama Adonxs sings with, the seamless way the dance break eases back into the original tempo, and the high note to finish off the tune. The time-traveling video really enhances the song as well. If I had a time machine, I would tell fans at the Malmo show to vote harder for Aiko's pedestal. But I'm sure Kiss Kiss Goodbye would qualify easily, and maybe even give Czechia a win. Next up in the running order is a contestant who is very in touch with music, and she is Laura Thorn. With her song La Poupée Monte le Son, she is raising the flag for Luxembourg. Born in the year 2000, Laura has been educating herself in music theory for nearly her entire life. She would learn to play several instruments and compete in various competitions. Laura would go on to earn a degree in music theory and work as a music teacher at the Esch sur Alzette Conservatory of Music. That's literally been her main profession outside of being a recording artist. It looks like we have another representative who hasn't released any other songs outside of their Eurovision entry. However, I have been keeping up with her videos for a little bit more, and I can say she's definitely a pro with her singing abilities. I didn't know the woman possessed so much soul with that cover of A Change Is Gonna Come. I think we can tell who's getting the black vote. But now let's discuss her actual song, La Poupée Monte le Son. I think I knew going into LSC that she would be a huge favorite for the audience, so it didn't surprise me when she scored the win. This song pays homage to Poupée Désir, Poupée Dessin, where France Gall plays a doll manufactured to sing silly love songs and never experience true romance. Laura Thorn appears to be flipping that on its head by showing the doll breaking free of control. Over violins, pianos, and a synth-pop beats, she tells those men to piss off. Truthfully, I admire its goal, but don't find the material to be hitting in a groundbreaking way. Sorry, Luxembourg, but I'm not too thrilled with this one. Up on deck is a singer who is looking to bring some romantic heartbreak onto the Swiss stage. That being Princ. He'll be showing up for Serbia with the song Mila. Princ was born as Stefan Zdravkovic in Vranje. He developed an interest in music at age 15, and his passion led him to perform at music festivals and sing in a band called Sisyphus. It was quite interesting to browse his music, because a good chunk of his material is dramatic romance songs that sound straight out of a soap opera. He presents a real bossa nova persona, which almost reminds me of Robin Thicke. I don't know if that's really a compliment, though. I gave a viewing to his 2023 run at Pesma za Eurovision, where he finished right behind Luke Black. Honestly, you could tell a lot of effort was poured into this performance. The costume design, visuals, and choreography perfectly matched the energy of Svet sa Istoka, where he pleads for his lover to be with him. I frankly enjoyed that song more than the song that actually earned him the spot in the big show. Mila leans into the theatrical love music that he's always been known for, but I don't think it hits the same way as his last PZE entry. While Svet sa Istoka had energy and vibrancy, Mila feels more like a by-the-numbers ballad wishing for your ex-lover to find someone special. I do enjoy the rock music that serves as the climactic moments, and it has a fancy stage production feel, but it's hard to get behind the song as a genuine contender for the big show. I fear Serbia will see their streak meet an end in Basel. For our final act in semifinal 2, we're taking a look at another artist many fans are anticipating to win, Erika Vikman. She is representing Finland with her epic anthem, Komme. Hailing from Tampere, Erika grew up with a very musical family and took up the medium in her teens. Her career would see a beginning with a run on Finnish Idols and a win on Tango Markkinat. It wasn't until 2017 she released her first song, titled Ete me elama hukan. Erika Vikman did compete in UMK in 2020, but ultimately came in second place. Although her entry, Sisiolina, did become a top 5 hit. Her debut LP even scored a #1 spot on the album charts. Listening to her past work, it's no mystery why she's been a hit in Finland. Her music contains a real boldness to it, demanding for people to accept her for her authentic persona. One song I really groove with is Elizabeth Taylor, where she tells all the heartbroken ladies that they don't need to feel sad about their man betraying them, for there are many hearts in the world for them to be swept away by. But of course, we must focus on her UMK winner, Komme. Built like a stadium anthem, Erika sings about the pleasures of lovemaking. She finds someone that she can bring back to her place and experience the joys of sleeping together. The title is not being subtle by any means, for she repeats throughout the chorus, "I'm coming." The choir on each line symbolizes how glorious the act is, feeling like she's reaching heaven. As the song escalates in its final 30 seconds, you can really feel the climax. In conclusion, it's no wonder why Finland is receiving hype for their entry yet again. Alright, so we have gone through every single song in semifinal 2, and a lot of strong contenders with this one. I think I might have had a harder time ranking this semifinal than the first one, because, you know, as I always say, like, this one is always, like, the more unpredictable one, because, like, semifinal 1, obvious qualifiers, of course, but semifinal 2, you have no idea who's gonna make it. But, you know, we always gotta just tear the bandage off and get it over with, so let's just get it over with already. And now comes the part of the video where I get to go Ant-Man sized. Nice, at the proper size. So enough of the yip yap, we are getting into the ranking. So at number 15, I have Mariam Shengelia with Freedom, who is competing for Georgia. This song, you know, you can tell she has some vocal power, yada yada yada, but I am not super gelling with what she's representing, and honestly, it doesn't really pull off anything that we haven't seen before, so yeah, very low on the list. At number 14 is Armenia. They have Parg with Survivor. And, you know, this one, you know, there's a lot of passion behind it. I really like Parg's spirit. I've seen all the videos of him hanging out with the other contestants and really getting along with them. I have no malice against him whatsoever, but I'm just not feeling Survivor that much, and it could come together with the staging. You know, we'll have to see that. But for now, I'm going to have to put it at number 14. So I hope you don't hold any malice towards me, Parg, please. Number 13 is Mila by Princ, who is representing Serbia. This song, you can tell Princ has a lot of vocal power. He's a man of romance, and yeah, I think he has some neat ideas going on here, particularly with the staging, you know, where he like sits on the crescent moon. But, you know, like I said, it's like by the numbers romance, you know, like all somber that he's broken up, you know. Like, I'm just not feeling that too much, and I don't know if the viewers will either, so yeah, I'm leaning towards a no for this one. Number 12 is Laura Thorn, who is singing for La Poupée Monte for Luxembourg. This one, you know, like I said, it does have a very important message. I think it has a clever message. I think Laura does really care about this one, and, you know, she really seems to know her history with her country, particularly their Eurovision songs. I guess I'm just not gelling with this one personally by myself, and hopefully she'll pull off a good staging for sure. Like, those graphics at LSC were just phenomenal. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of leaning towards this one being a non-qualifier. Number 11, and this one is really painful, like, don't get me wrong. Gojo with Milkshake Man for Australia. Ah, man. I had a tough time ranking him at number 10 and our next entrance. But yeah, I guess, like, if push came to shove, I would have to put him in this section. I like the campiness. I think he is very exuberant, and I really think he's friendly. But, like, when the chips are down, I might have to put him at number 11. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll serve a good milkshake once we're on that Basel stage. And now is the part where we get to the qualifiers, who I think are going to advance to the finals. So at number 10, we have Emmy with Like a Party for Ireland. She has a wonderful spirit. I love how she's going about throughout the pre-parties and interacting with all the contestants. Again, I'm a little bit shaky about how this is going to be presented on the Swiss stage. I don't think that she's the most popular contestant, but I do think that her song Like a Party is very clever, you know, like you can sense the somberness beneath the surface. So I'm thinking maybe perhaps Emmy will see a qualification. Number 9 is Greece. They have the song Asteromata by Klavdia. I really love her voice. It's a very powerful voice, one of the best vocalists we have in this contest. Staging needs work, but in fairness, I do think that she's going to improve. She says that she has some props being shipped off to Switzerland, and she's really been working with her team to figure that aspect out. So yeah, I'm confident she's going to make it, you know. But for now, I'm ranking her at number 9. Number 8 is Nina Žižić, who is representing Montenegro with Dobrosošli. They're a country that's returning after 2 years. We haven't seen them in some time. Hopefully, they will see a qualification. I hope that the viewers are very gelling with the Montenegrin song. They're gelling with the Montenegrin song, I should say. So yeah, love the voice, love the drama. Let's see some love for Nina. Number 7, who I believe is one of the most anticipated acts in this whole thing, is JJ, and he is singing Wasted Love for Austria. I know that he is one of the top contestants people are really rooting for. Me personally, I am not too impressed by Wasted Love. I've always said that I think it's trying too hard to be extravagant, and I still stand by that attitude. I think that he could really wow some people in Switzerland, but for now, I guess I'm just not a huge fan of Wasted Love, at least not as much as other people. Number 6 is Serving by Miriana Conte, who is raising the flag for Malta. She has a lot of campiness with her song, and I'm sure people are going to be supporting her hard because of, like, the censorship stuff. So, yeah, let's see Malta reach the finals after a few years. Number 9, Tautumeitas, who are representing Latvia with their joyous anthem, Bur Man Laimi. Love how these ladies work together. I love the edifying feel it creates. I'm hoping Latvia can stay in the finals. Crossing my fingers for that. You know, I don't want Dons to be a fluke. Please show some love to Tautumeitas. Please. Number 4 is Erika Vikman with Komme, who is competing for Finland. Another anticipated entry. I love the power behind this one. You can really sense that Erika is feeling good with this one. And yeah, she has some big ideas, it seems, for the staging. And now we have our top 3, the 3 performers I'm rooting for the most in this semifinal. I'm giving my 8 points to Katarsis with Tavo Akys, who are competing for Lithuania. Love the gloomy feel of this one. I really love how apocalyptic it is. And he really seems to be entranced in the music. And I love the visuals that they had at their selection show with like the barren house in the fields. So yeah, please, let's see some qualifications for Lithuania. My 10 points are going to Sissal with Hallucination, who is representing Denmark. I did not know I would be ranking Denmark this high in my list this year, but here we are. Hallucination is stellar. It is very strong, very energized. Sissal is a wonderful person. I love how she's interacting with all the other contestants, really being friendly with them, really striking out conversations and forming bonds. So yeah, I really hope Hallucination can make it. So like, please, for the love of Christ, I'm begging you, let her make it to the finals. And then my 12 points. That is going to Adonxs with Kiss Kiss Goodbye, who is competing for Czechia. Love the drama with the song. I love the dance break. He really knew how to escalate the tune in his own way. And I think he has big ideas for this performance. Like, I am just so eager to see what he's offering with Kiss Kiss Goodbye. So I'm hoping that Czechia can pull something off. I know Aiko was robbed last year, so I think this is going to make up for that. So Czechia is at the top of my list. So there you have it, folks. That is my ranking for semifinal 2. And that is pretty much where we're going to be wrapping up today. Hopefully you find my opinions agreeable. If not, be sure to let me down in the comments what you think. But overall, I hope you guys had fun with this video. I sure did, and I hope you return for more. We'll be ranking the Big 5 next week. In the meantime, if you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. That is where we are wrapping up today. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.